Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm doing Vlogmas 2021, Tarot Vlogmas, and it's December 16th. Today the prompt is Snowball. What do you protect? Alright, so for this one I decided to choose a card, or actually two. It's a difficult one, and I don't know, I still wanted to share it with you. It's definitely a riff. I'm very unprepared. Also, this setting, as you can probably tell, is starting to decline in fanciness. Hey, that's just the reality of things, especially in December, because I'm so tired. How is everybody else doing? It's really starting, isn't it? I mean, it was between going and doing the dishes because everything is dirty or filming this video, and I'm procrastinating by talking to you guys, which I don't personally mind, but I don't have time to do 5 prompts in a row, so it's probably just the one. So, what do you protect? The answer I'm going to give can be found in many different archetypes and many different tarot cards, including some of the cards that I've pulled up to this point in Tarot Vlogmas. By the way, with that 4 of Coins, Pentacles, discs that I kept pulling, the repeat card, I really appreciated your take on that particular card because those are all readings for myself. That also means that sometimes I miss things or I decide to just not include some aspects of them. And then, I mean, it's great. I love it. You kind of put that in the comment section, and yeah, I kind of love that. I kind of appreciate that. I see that apparently my personality is coming through in these videos, which I'm grateful for, and it shows to me in this interaction that we have on YouTube that you get me. So that's very nice. Now, the 2 cards I got, I'm using the Thoth today. 2 cards I picked for what do I protect are the Magus and the Aeon. So the Magician or the Battleur and Judgment. I don't know why exactly, but these 2 cards is where I see at the moment, because I cannot really relate this question to the holidays without repeating what I've already said in a few of these videos. What do I protect at the moment, especially? It's my own path and my own right to believe what I feel is true to me. Almost like coming out to the world without making it that important, without making such a big point out of it, but it's more in the way I carry myself in daily life. It's more in a way of how I choose to answer questions or how I choose to not answer questions and still be comfortable with that, or just be comfortable with being uncomfortable. It's a whole lot of stuff without throwing it into people's faces because it's nobody's business. It's my business, but it's a good, healthy development because for so many years, which is of course part of most people's lives at some point, it's a phase, I cared too much about what others thought of me or might think of me, trying to impress people or talk along. All of that stems from a yearning feeling of wanting to belong somewhere, right? Now, if you've seen the rest of the tarot vlogmas, I was talking about outcast power, all of that. So I am owning who I am, but also I'm not going to let anybody else tell me what I should own about myself. Does that make sense? Like I know that people mean well, because I've had a few of these conversations with friends and people I just met. You know what it truly is? It's owning that right and really living by it, that I can create myself in a sense while still being very true to myself. Because both of these things are happening at the same time. As a spiritual person, as someone who loves to read and study the tarot, the harder questions are being asked of you all the time, right? You guys know that. You guys must recognize. You see how this would be me, the Magus, this would be me owning my power and being who I am and manifesting what I want. And then the Aeon is that rebirth, is I am always changing. So it's kind of like the core and the change, but they keep finding one another. So when people tell me, just own who you are, and this is great, this part of yourself. I'm like, yeah, you're right, but I have plenty of reasons to change, to develop, because that is development to me. It's not denying a part of who I am. It's actually quite the opposite. If there is something about myself, my life, my personality, something that I don't like, first of all, I probably got there through shadow work. I understand it. I know what it is now. Went through that whole ego process. The moment I get to that point where I can actually use it in conversation with someone else, when I can actually be open about it and explain what it is, where it comes from, and all of that, if I feel like obviously sharing that, a part of the process is already in motion. And so what many people don't understand, I know this is a very weird video so far. I cannot really give a clear example. So I just hope at this point that you know what I'm talking about a little bit, that you follow my story here so far. It's kind of like story time. I hope you understand what I mean. When I get to that process, it's because I'm already in the middle of the solution. The problem is detected, you could say, and sometimes it's not even that difficult or heavy. Sometimes it's just about, I don't really like this about myself. I feel it keeps stinging me every time I get uncertain about certain things, and I just want to change my approach to a certain situation. And so the solution is already in sight. The solution is already what I'm working on. So I am using all of these powers and going towards that new birth, because this, the aeon, the judgment, the awakening, is the big cosmic alarm clock telling you you've been asleep all this time, now wake up and change things. It's probably most of the time good advice when you're in a conversation, right? To tell people, you just have to own this part of yourself. Don't deny it. Don't throw it away. Don't pretend it's not there, and be yourself. Yes, that is good advice. Very good advice. I'm glad you apparently found that out for yourself. That's great. It is good advice. I'm laughing because I sound so mean and I don't mean it in that way. I actually just mean there is another way to go about it, though. People kind of forget about that. It's funny, right? I also forget about that probably when I'm talking to others. But with this work for myself, this deep, magical, transformative process, which of course is the same as daily life. Whatever I do in this space or for myself or while journaling or when reading the cards or sharing this in these videos with you, these riffs, it is because of things that happen in everyday life, right? I try to better these things. I try to better myself. I try to better my approach to certain situations, as I said. So the part that is often forgotten is how incredibly empowering and strong and good, probably, and healthy it is for yourself to also work on yourself and be able to change the things that you don't like about yourself. Because it's not about, I want to stop doing this and so I'm going to pretend the problem isn't there. It's, I want to stop doing this because I know this problem is there and now I have to solve it. The initial problem, which is actually the symptom, right? Not the cause, the symptom of this issue that I am apparently having and that I need to work on a little bit more and explore and solve for myself. That is what I'm doing. That is that magical but also psychological change that is in motion now. So that is very empowering. That is a strength. And there is a difference between pretending like something isn't there and then getting the advice of you have to own yourself and this is just a part of yourself, nothing you can do about it. I disagree. There is something I can do about it. If there's, again, something about myself or something that I do, I want to break that habit. I want to break out of some sort of shell, the egg. Crying out loud, it's good, it's healthy, it's thought out. Like, don't worry. If Yes, own yourself, know who you are and all of that. But also there's a difference between owning yourself and being stuck in your ways. Like, oh, there's nothing I can do about it. There is something we can do about it. Just make sure this transformation is good for you. Is actually, the transformation should be revealing more. It should be revealing what is hidden underneath the surface. Very shadow work like. The transformation shouldn't be about hiding parts of yourself, because then the own it advice would be helpful, I guess. I guess it is helpful, obviously, and it's meant in a very loving and caring way. It's just, this is about uncovering and revealing what is hidden underneath the surface. Therefore, own it even more and make it even more a part of myself. But how is that not transformative? How is that not changing yourself? If there's a problem, you solve it. The problem, which was something that is hard as a rock probably, is solved, as in dissolved. It goes away. But the idea here is that this rock is in front of you, it is blocking your view, and you have to work really hard in order to go through it, to move past it, for your view to open up and that horizon to show itself. So I guess that would be the rebirth there. This is an incredibly, probably, long-winded way of explaining to you what I protect, because this was just an example. I went a little bit crazy into that example, but it was just to make my point. My point is, I protect my own process, and I also trust my own process. I trust that I am the one who makes the rules here. I know that I talked about this issue that I had in conversations with people in a little bit of a passionate way. Maybe that's shown through. Maybe it's just the red that I'm wearing today. But truly, it doesn't bother me. I do sometimes wish I had the ability to explain this, to communicate this in a clearer way, without giving away all my secrets, if you will. Because, yeah, I'm not an open book, and I think that's okay. Also, as I said in another video, there is power in being silent, and here we quite literally see the young child doing that, right? Long story short, am I actually saying that I'm protecting my faith? That might be it. That might be it. And there's the magician next to it, or magus, because I'm the practitioner of that particular faith. Okay, so that was it for today. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you tomorrow, probably in a different setting, because I have to do the dishes. Bye, guys.